I've been doing pretty bad lately in the way of updates, so I thought I'd take the opportunity while I have the motivation to do an update video now. I just came back from a weekend at Mum's house, so things are in a bit of disarray right now. I planned to take the HP LaserJet 4P back, put it into storage, and bring the HP LaserJet 4M back up here and give that a run, since I hadn't used that in several months. I'd been using this since I got it working with that new toner cartridge. Well, that plan fell through for a very stupid reason, although it's a reason that I'm glad I became aware of. Pretty much anything that gets stored in Mom's basement gets wrecked, I've learned. R-E-K-T. Being stored in Mom's basement for the past several months has just killed the HP LaserJet 4M. It had so many problems when I brought it up and tried it out. I brought it upstairs. I had it covered with a garbage bag, but it was still covered with this really fine powdery dust, which just is in the basement for some reason. I don't know why. But the first thing it did when I powered it on was it threw a 51 error, which means that the laser or the laser scanner is malfunctioning, which I've never seen happen on either of these printers. Well, I turned it off and turned it back on, and it never happened again, which is good. I imagine that probably some component that's part of the lasing assembly was covered in dust. So it was malfunctioning, but that seemed to clear up afterwards. Another thing was that it acted like it was out of toner. This could be due to one of two things. This could have been due to dust on the laser or the laser scanner, causing the laser to not be able to actually reach the toner cartridge, so the toner cartridge wasn't picking up much toner. So everything you printed was really faded, like it was out of toner. But one of the things I did was, and this is a known trick, is to just take the toner cartridge and, give it a few rotations, and rotations this way and rotations along this axis, just to get all the toner loosened up. And because it's quite possible that the dampness down there caused the toner to clump all together. And that actually, I don't know if it was that or just running it and getting any dust off the laser scanner or whatever, but that problem cleared up. But it has another problem now, which I wasn't able to clear up before I had to come back here. It continually eats pages. I was not able to get a single page out of the 4M during the time I tested it. I printed about, several dozen pages, wasted a lot of good paper. I didn't try my one-sided paper just in case it was that, because that's another thing. I accidentally left paper in it, just scrap one-sided paper, and it was actually wet. It was wet in the paper cassette, and it actually stuck all together, and oh my god, it was a mess. It dried out, but it's still, that paper's all misshapen and stuff now. I've actually put it in here now. Let's see if I can find an example here. It's better now than it was, but it looks like paper that's been wet and then dried out, because that's literally what it is. It's all like wrinkly and stuff, and it's a mess. This printer doesn't mind it, it passes it along, but the 4M was just jamming it continually. So I tried good paper, new paper out of the package, wasted a lot of that because it's still just jammed continuously. So I tried cleaning, and it was jamming at the final exit roller, the 4M was. And I tried cleaning that, and I tried doing what I did when I first got that printer, because it was jamming back then too, and I cleaned the exit roller, tried isopropyl alcohol, tried water. In the end, it wasn't any better. I even took sandpaper and sanded the rubber exit roller, just anything to try and get it, because it wasn't gripping the paper. That was the problem. And I use good paper. I use HP branded paper, which is certified for use in LaserJets. And it was not having it. I think being stored in that damp, wet basement for a few months has degraded the rubber rollers. I think I'm going to have to buy a new exit assembly for the 4M, unfortunately. Not a huge deal. It's a $25 part and very easy to replace. I'm able to, because I've done it before, I'm able to take the whole printer apart, remove the exit assembly, and then reassemble everything in under 10 minutes. So it's not a big deal, it's just a little bit of cash, but I think I'm going to buy a new, and it's a very easily available part. I think I'm going to buy, just get it over with, buy a new exit assembly for the 4M, and hopefully that puts it back into tip-top shape. So that'll probably happen around Christmas time. I might buy it before then, it depends on how I feel. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to get the 4M a new exit assembly. So until then, the 4P won't get its rest yet, but this thing still works perfectly, so I'm happy to continue using it. I don't know what to do with this thing anymore. Unfortunately, the video I uploaded asking for help, that's probably one of the worst ideas I've ever put on YouTube. I think a lot of people, most people, didn't watch far enough into the video to realize that what I was asking for was a cartridge specifically. Everybody started giving me troubleshooting tips, of which I tried pretty much all of it. And yeah, so most people were offering me basic troubleshooting stuff, which I appreciate, but it wasn't what I was looking for because I already tried all of it. Geez, a long-time viewer actually blocked me because I told them, they were posting tons of comments of troubleshooting stuff, and I'm like, hey, I don't need that anymore. I've tried all of it, and I don't know, something ruffled their feathers, and they told me off and then blocked me, which I think's really dumb, but to each their own, I guess. So yeah, I'm not sure what to do with this thing anymore. Geez, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep it. I went into a thrift store over the weekend back home. There were no printers there. I think I'll just keep this thing. I won't use it obviously, but I'm just going to keep it around and until I find another DeskJet. If I can find another DeskJet in a thrift store, I'll try that. If that works fine, then I'll just throw this away. Ideally, I'd like to hopefully find another DeskJet that also takes a 78 cartridge, so I can try those now 2 cartridges I still have that only output pink on this unit, or magenta rather. See, I don't know what to do with this thing. It's just going to go back up in the closet for now, but it really stinks. The only surefire way to test this thing is to buy a $70 brand new cartridge, which I don't want to do. So I guess that's just on the back burner for now. I got a new lamp. This is a spare one that they had lying around, so yeah, they had they said no problem about my lamp breaking. It wasn't my fault anyhow, so they gave me this spare one. I like it a lot better than that type. It's a lot sturdier and heavier, so what I actually use in it now, this is something you haven't seen since I made the video of it. It's this 5-watt magnetically ballasted preheat PL adapter that a member of Lighting Gallery sent me from Rhode Island. It's the first time I've been able to put this thing into normal use because I don't have a fixture at Mom's house suitable for it, and I didn't have a fixture here suitable for it. But now I have this sturdy lamp that's not going to tip over because this thing's really heavy. Yeah, I've been using this in that lamp, and it works great, so very happy with that. It's got a warm white lamp, which I'm not too terribly fond of. Maybe I'll get a 5-watt 3500K or a cool white lamp to put in its place. But yeah, works great. Perfect fit for this fixture. This brings me to something else that I've wanted to try. A perpetual problem that I've been having with my videos up here. You can probably see it right now. The color is just really poor. Like, everything's pale. You can tell right now the color of this is all pale. And it's not really my high 8 camcorder. My other camcorders and cameras do it too, but when I use my high 8 it's the most pronounced. The color is just really dull and pale. And also the lighting in here is just not very good. And this camcorder compensates by driving the exposure up, and that gets you a lot of CCD noise. So these videos I make with this camcorder are kind of noisy as well. Well, hopefully I'm going to have the solution for that now. Now, the kind of lighting I use here, it's different from when I make videos than normally. Normally I keep a 40-watt equivalent CFL in there, that 5-watt PL adapter in there, which is a 25-watt incandescent equivalent, and another 40-watt incandescent equivalent here. Well, that's not nearly enough light for video making. So whenever I make a video, I put the same type of bulb in here, here, and here. They are 60-watt equivalent cool white CFLs. And if you didn't know, yes, you can get a cool white CFL 4100K. They're excellent. I love them. You won't find them in most stores, but I've gotten lucky. I bought these ones at Walmart. Walmart had them on clearance. They had like one box of them left and I bought it. 60 watt equivalent cool white CFLs, and they're great. I love them. I love the color. They're a bit bright, which is why I don't use them normally, but you know, they've been some of the best I have for video making. But the problem is, I just think this camcorder, and you know, all my cameras, just aren't optimized for cool white colored light, and that's why everything's so pale in color. I put my hand in front because that's, human skin's always a good example. But, you know, everything just looks pale and kind of dull. And I think it's because of these CFLs. I think it's a mixture of not having enough light in here and having light of not an optimal color. So I bought these at the grocery store the other day. I think these will help a lot better for video making. They're Sylvania 100 watt equivalent 3500K CFLs, and if you didn't know, yes, you can get 3500K CFLs as well. I run a 60 watt equivalent right up here, and I love the color. Not as orangey as incandescent, but not quite as pale as cool white, and they do a lot better for video making. So I say so I got 3 of them for 12 bucks, not too bad of a price. I say let's try it right now. Let's replace all 3 of my lamps here with these CFLs and see how much better it looks. Oh, that's much better. That's a lot brighter, and I think even just through the camcorder's LCD, I think the color looks a lot better. Things look a lot more natural, better color saturation, less pale. Oh, I think that's a lot better. I won't know for sure until I edit the video. The only one downside to this lamp is where the shade's quite dark in color, it blocks a lot of light. So I don't think there's not too much extra light coming here. And the problem is I can remove the shade, but then I'll get harsh shadows. I've tried it before. I get lots of shadows, you know, sitting in front of it here, and shadows are quite obvious. So, but still, yeah, that looks a lot better. I think you'll hopefully agree. Everything looks a lot more natural now. Cool. In other news, that right there is a computer I've had for 3 years, I think, 2 or 3 years, and I've never made a video of it. Well, I've brought it up here. I am making a video of it soon. In fact, it might be the next thing I make a video of, because I had to dig this computer up. I put some data on it that I wanted to get off it, and I thought, you know, I ought to just take it back here and make a video of it, because it is a pretty cool computer. Not terribly old, but pretty cool. So, expect a video of that in the not too distant future. You might have noticed this earlier in this video. This is my old, faithful ATI Rage 128 Pro AGP video card, 16 megabyte. Sad news, this card is dead. Basically, I was using it in a computer. This was back at Mom's house. And, you know, the computer was on the floor, my monitor's way up on my shelf, and the cord was just barely long enough to, you know, the VGA cable was just long enough to reach down. I had this card in the computer, was too lazy to screw it in, and basically the cord, the tension on the VGA cable was enough that while the computer was running, all of a sudden it pulled the card. How would that have gone? That would have gone like this. The card would have been oriented like this, and the tension on the VGA cable was pulling up on it, and it pulled it out of the slot while the computer was running. Completely destroyed the card. It is completely non-functional now, doesn't work anymore. I brought it up here just to give it one last test. If it doesn't work, I'll be throwing it away. So that's way too bad. This card has been a mainstay of my computer tinkering for, gosh, like 10 years. I've had this thing, and it's been my go-to video card to test any system or monitor or anything. And it's, you know, it's compatible with everything, and now it's dead. Too friggin' bad. This is the NiCad camcorder battery I have that just one of the cells shorted. I Dremeled it open over the weekend with Mom's Dremel, and it looks like it's got only 4 cells inside it. Well, that's impossible. There have to be 8, but I can feel a little ridge in the middle of each of them, so I think it's 2 cells. Well, yeah, it's 2 cells. I can feel a ridge right there too. 2 cells in each of these cardboard tubes. So I bought on eBay this 18650 lithium ion cell holder, crap, I just realized I forgot to bring 18650 cells back up here with me, oh well. But ooh, it's gonna be a tight squeeze, but I think I might be able to just barely fit this cell holder in there and fire the battery back up and have 3 18650 lithium ion cells in place of these dead NiCad cells. So I'm going to remove each of these. I'm interested to see what shape the individual cells are in. If they're, you know, which one's shorted and how the rest of them are doing. But there's a story on that. Anyhow, I decided to bring the Ash Flash Discover 2 back up here with me. I haven't used this thing since, gosh, I think Christmas time is when I first got this thing and cleaned it up and made the video of it. That's when I last had batteries in it and used it. Well, still working just fine. And I ought to buy new capacitors. Finally get to work replacing the capacitors in this thing. But it's still working just fine, as you can see. I brought this back up with me because about a month ago the power went out here. Power was out all day. It kind of sucked because I don't have any portable lights up here. The best I had was my phone and my laptop, and that was about it. So I figured, you know, I ought to, you know, just in case. The power rarely goes out here. That was the first time in like a year the power's gone out. But I figured bring this up with me and have here just in case. You might notice my fridge open here. I came back here today and I noticed the door wouldn't close. The door just, it wouldn't close. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? Why won't the door close? Well, I don't know what the heck happened or how it happened, but somehow over the weekend this happened. So much ice built up. I assume / hope. It's funny because it doesn't really cause this door to not close, but the main fridge door, well, it won't close right now because I got towels in the way anyway, catching the dripping water. But as you can see, this is empty. I've moved everything into my fridge, and I've got it defrosting now. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I think maybe when I went to go home, I accidentally did not close this tightly, and that let some warm air in, which caused ice to build up here. I've never seen ice build up on this fridge like this. But that sucks, but no huge deal. Just left a bit of a puddle on the floor here, which I cleaned up, and now just slowly waiting for it to defrost. Probably take a number of hours, as much ice is built up on there. IBM portable PC, haven't done anything with that yet. I just got really bummed out after the video card went bad on it. I did ask on the Vintage Computer forums, and people were able to tell me the exact chip that's likely gone bad on that. And so I know which chip needs to be replaced. I can get the part on eBay. The only problem is it's a part that, it's a Motorola part. It's a Motorola DRAM chip, like a 8 kilobit chip or something like that. And Motorola doesn't make it anymore, so you can get them on eBay, but there's only a couple, new old stock, and they're really expensive. I'm going to pay like 15 bucks to get one chip here, which is ridiculous. I don't know yet if there are any equivalents. I haven't bothered to research that yet. Maybe I'll ask around if I can learn that there are equivalent chips still in production, easier, cheaper to get. I might just try one of those instead. But yeah, that's still on the back burner. I got really bummed after that happened. I was about, you know, I was gearing up to make a video of it, and now I can't, and that bummed me out. But oh well. I think the last thing I have to mention, I haven't really mentioned work or school since the beginning of the summer. Work's going great. I love my job. Basically, I'm working as a project manager. It's a lot busier and a lot more responsibility than the job I had at school. There's a lot more guesswork involved, and there's a lot more learning involved. I'm often asked to do a lot of stuff which I have no idea how to do, and I have to learn how to do. So it's a little bit stressful in that regard, but it's been very, very rewarding. I've learned a lot of stuff, not only technical stuff and stuff about how, like, how your local telephone network and how all that infrastructure works. But I've also improved my personal skills. It may endlessly surprise you to know that I'm not a very social person. It's not. I've always known how to interact with people, but the problem is I have social anxiety. It makes me really nervous to have to talk to people. And another big thing is I spend a lot of time on the telephone now at work. I work at a desk, and a lot of my job involves calling people and accepting calls from people. Some of these people I've never met even. And I used to hate the telephone. It used to terrify me to have to talk to a stranger on the telephone. Just hated it. It almost made me sick. But I've had to do it so much this summer as a result of my job that it's almost natural to me now, which is wonderful. So that's great. Yeah, I enjoy my job. It's busy. It's busy pretty much all the time, and a little bit stressful sometimes, but I enjoy it. I just immensely enjoy it. It's been a very rewarding job. Greatly enjoy it. And that leaves the last topic of today's big update, which is school. Well, I'm not going to school right now, so there's nothing to report, except you'll remember that if you watched the last update video, I said that I failed 2 courses this last semester at school. Well, it turns out that one of those courses, there was a marking error on my exam. The professor remarked my exam, and I passed. So I passed that course, which is awesome. So yeah, it was only 1 course last semester that I failed, plus 1 the semester before. So I'll be redoing those 2 courses this following year. And that's about it. It's August 1st when I'm filming this, so still got a fair bit of summer left. Some time to make videos. I still have lots of stuff to make videos of whenever I have the time and energy to do it. But until then, thanks for watching this update video, and I'll see you in the videos to come.